Hey everybody, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we're tackling something that's small in size but huge in impact. We're talking logos. Specifically, how to get one design that doesn't just look good but actually works for your brand. Got a stack of sources here all about making smart design choices.
And it's so tempting, right? To just jump online and start browsing for a logo you like, but kind of like you wouldn't build a house without a blueprint.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Your logo, it's the foundation of your brand's whole visual identity. Can't just wing it.
So true. Our sources keep hammering this point about clarity over creativity. Like, what does that even mean when it comes to something as visual as a logo?
It means before you go font crazy or color obsessed, got to define what your brand is at its core. What are the values, the vibe?
Yeah.
If someone sees your logo, what's the one feeling you want them to walk away with?
Ooh, I like that. It's almost like if seeing my logo makes you want to immediately click buy now, that's a different goal than if it's supposed to make you feel relaxed and trust my brand.
Exactly. And all that thinking you're doing, that becomes your design brief. Not a novel, but clear, concise, this is what we stand for, so our logo needs to reflect that.
Saves everyone headaches later on, right? Like, I'm picturing this avoiding a lot of back and forth with a designer if they're clear on the vibe from the get-go.
100%. Think of it as your brand's elevator pitch, but for its logo. Worth taking the time to nail it.
Okay, so our brand's got its soul figured out. We've got the design brief. It's time to find someone to actually make this logo happen.
Time to make it real, yeah. And honestly, this is where some people hit a wall. Staring at a blank page is one thing, but actually finding the right designer can be a whole other beast.
Our sources seem to be big fans of online platforms. Fiverr, specifically, got name-dropped a few times. Is that your go-to?
It's a good starting point. I mean, the sheer volume of designers you'll find, it could feel overwhelming at first, but think of it this way. Bigger pool, better chance of finding that perfect fit, right?
It's like walking into a bookstore that's too big. You're excited, but also, where do you even begin?
And that's where Fiverr's kind of brilliant. Their filter system, lifesaver. Remember all that work we did defining our brand? Now's when it pays off.
So instead of just browsing endless logos, we can get specific with our search.
Exactly. If you want a minimalist vibe, boom, filter for that. Specific budget, there's a filter. You can even filter by the designer's experience, which I think is huge GE.
Wait, really? So like if I'm launching a line of eco-friendly sneakers or something.
You could find designers who've worked with sustainable brands before. Cuts through so much noise.
That's amazing. Okay, so less lost in a sea of logos and more like laser focused on the right match.
Exactly.
So say we've narrowed it down. We're seeing portfolios from designers who get our brand's vibe. What are we looking for beyond a design that just looks cool? Because, come on, there's got to be more to it than that.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And anyone can make something look cool. But does it actually represent your brand? One of our sources used this word I loved, versatility.
Okay, break that down for me. Versatility in a portfolio. How do I actually spot that?
Imagine this. You're opening a cute little bakery. You know the kind that smells like fresh bread, makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside?
Already drooling.
Then you see their logo, and it's like chains and skulls, maybe a flaming whisk for extra edge.
I mean, I respect the dedication to the baking theme.
Amazing execution,
Yeah.
right. Technically skilled designer. But does it make you want to buy a croissant? Probably not.
Hard no. Mismatched vibes.
Exactly. A good portfolio shows range. Can they do edgy A&D friendly? Minimalist A&D detailed. You want someone who can flex to fit what you need, not just show off one style.
Oh, that's such a good point. It's like you wouldn't hire a chef who can only make sushi if you're opening an Italian restaurant.
And here's a pro tip. Don't just look at the final logos in the portfolio. Go deeper. Look for case studies, project descriptions. Do they explain their process, how they got to that final design?
Ooh, it's like peeking behind the curtain, seeing how the magic happens.
Right. Shows they're strategic. They
Yeah.
get that a logo has to work hard for you, not just look pretty. Take your time with this, by the way. Don't rush the portfolio deep dive.
Okay, so we've done our homework. Brand is clear. Portfolios are bookmarked. But now what? Like, I imagine people are out there with like 5 designers they think are amazing. How do you actually choose?
This is the best problem to have. Means you're being picky, which is good. Now we go beyond the, ooh, pretty logo and into the nitty-gritty of actually working with someone.
Because let's be real, hiring a designer, not like buying a t-shirt online. It's a whole process.
It is. And what our sources put it perfectly, they called this part avoiding future headaches, which I love.
Okay, sign me up for that deep dive. How do we do it?
It's all about setting expectations up front, legally protecting yourself too. Like, you wouldn't hire someone to remodel your kitchen without a contract, right?
Ooh, bad memories with a contractor who didn't measure twice.
So with design, similar deal. Our sources say there are a few must-clarify things. Revisions, for one. Design's subjective, so what you picture in your head might not be what they make on the first try.
And that's normal, right? Like part of the creative process.
Totally. But you need to know how many rounds of revisions are included in their price. Do extra revisions cost more? Get that clear up front.
So important. Otherwise, it's like every time they put a cabinet door on crooked, you're paying extra to fix it. Not a fun surprise.
And speaking of surprises, timelines.
Yeah.
Ask, when can I expect the first draft? How long do revisions take? Again, setting boundaries up front makes it smoother for everyone.
Makes you feel more in control, too, you know? Like it's a collaboration, not just me handing over money and hoping for the best.
And speaking of control, maybe the most important thing is making sure, at the end of this, you own your logo.
Oh, wait, seriously. That's a thing people need to worry about.
Huge GE thing. Imagine going through this whole process, loving your logo, then finding out you don't have the rights to it. Legal nightmare.
Okay, how do we avoid that? What's the magic phrase?
Ask up front, will I own the rights to the final design when it's done? And get that yes in writing. Contract, email, something. Protects both of you.
Music to my ears. Okay, so to wrap up our deep dive today, we went from feeling lost in a sea of logos to having a roadmap. We know how to define our brand, find the right designer, and even handle those tricky legal bits.
And remember, a logo, it's an investment. Done right, this thing's going to work for you for years. So take your time, ask questions, and don't be afraid to really go for what you want.
I love that. Now, we mainly talked online platforms, Fiverr specifically, which are great. But what about other options? Local designers, maybe even design contests, something to ponder. Until next time, deep divers, happy designing.